frankly, as they should be.
And welcome, folks. Welcome all. It is Wobbly Player Syndrome. We're already making our opinions heard. Thanks, Michael. It is a 40k podcast, and joining us, as usual, we have Radio Mike.
Hey.
We have Safer Work Mark.
Hey, everybody.
And you have me here, Greg, or Red Belly, depending where you're watching from. We are going to have a chat. About...
If you hear a loud knock at my door, it's probably an Eversaw coming for me.
It's alright. We've got cherubs attacking Safe Work Mark in the background. Maybe.
Yeah, well, the door has stayed closed so far.
How are you two?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Tired.
Nurgle has stopped giving me gifts, finally.
Huzzah! So I hope you get the receipt. We're going to have a chat about what they've done to Deathwatch and what that may mean to other factions, what that means with legendized items, because not only did the new Imperial Agents codex come out, and there were many Deathwatch players who were going, hang on, what? And then just recently, I think yesterday or the day before, they released the legendized items for the Imperial Agents, which was essentially everything but 4 units of Deathwatch in there, and a couple others.
Yeah.
Bit harsh, but we'll talk about that soon. So I'm just wondering, how prepared is Radio Mike? Because the first thing we talk about is new releases.
Well, I yet again, I feel like I've missed something, but it's mostly because I think they've announced so much Blood Angel stuff that hasn't come out.
Yeah.
Like, I think the only Blood Angel stuff that's actually come out is that you can pre-order that army box, yeah?
Correct, yeah. So there's a lot of previews
the
for the new models and stuff, but the new releases is the Imperial Agents.
Like, it's always a pain in the ass when they go through and announce a bajillion things. I'm like, yeah, but which ones actually got released? So yeah, there's on pre-order is Blood Angel's army set is like this week, and I think is going on pre-order, or is it already on pre-order?
Weekend, yeah, pre-orders are out 2 weeks. They sell out within 30 seconds, but you can get 2 weeks to tease you about it.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're trying to order. If you're trying to order the next thing that's on there, the next thing on the new release is all of the Necromunda stuff. You know, all of the Hive Secundus individual boxes, the Tech Hunters, the Malstrain Gene Stealers, the new Spirers, which I'm excited for, but no one who hasn't played old Necromunda gives a shit. And a bunch of stuff for that. And then after that, we had Codex Imperial Agents and the Combat Patrol for the Imperial Agents, and then like 3 different Battle Force boxes for the different autos. And sorry, my eye is just watering like a son of a bitch for no reason.
And I heard us all what they did to Deathwatch. I get it. I hear you. Yeah,
I'm clearly like weeping for my poor boys. They're watching me from behind me there, next to my Titan. And so they also re-released Deathwatch Captain Artemis.
Yep.
The 28mm scale version of that old 54 scale guy. They re-released the Navigator, the Priest, and stuff from
Black Fortress, was it?
Blackstone Fortress. Because I was like, I've got all that stuff. I don't need those. But I mean, I guess it's cool that you can buy them where they're not inside and out of production game.
Yeah. But what about the infamous Inquisitor that they brought out?
Which one's that? They re-released
the old man with his
Draxus
pants.
and Greyfax. Sorry?
The old man that's got his wrong trousers from Wallace and Gromit pants.
Is that fucking Eisenhorn?
No. The gold, the new Inquisitor they released.
The fucking new... Sorry, here. He's in the Battle Force. So I totally skipped over him. Yeah, he's in the Auto Malaeus Battle Force, yeah? Because it's fucking Kodiaz.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, he's like eating a lot of chicken, that boy. He's fucking beefed the fuck up.
It is definitely a model that's got 2 camps on whether they like or don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of very angry people about that model. The Eagle is a bit weird because it's attached to a ruin by the wing.
Yeah, that's weird. But
It's a decision.
Yeah, as I said, I heard someone say it just reminds them of the Wallace and Gromit's wrong trousers. And I went, yes, it does. So,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. Actually, I hadn't heard that one, but it totally does. It could just be the fact that Games Workshop infamously are terrible at photographing models. Like, the number of times I've seen a model and I'm like, that model looks fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And when I've seen it in person, I'm like, oh, actually, that's not too bad. But they just photograph it from like the worst possible angle.
yeah.
You know? So yeah, he's only in the box right now, though. I think he's not available separately. God knows when they'll do that.
To get him.
I mean, traditionally he's been pretty cool. Like he's been, he was a powerful character previously.
Yeah, he was. I don't know.
So I expect he'll still be good.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's the protector of nursing homes.
Yeah, I mean he's an old cunt.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have a mobility chair. Nobody has a mobility chair anymore.
No.
But we'll get to that later. So they also re-released the Assassins, the new ones from, I think the Execution Force ones.
Yep.
And they released the data cards, and they released the 40k boarding actions book, which looks pretty cool.
Yeah, not sure. We didn't really play any of the original boarding action. What was it called? I can't remember. Was it called boarding actions before it?
It was called something like that. I think it was called boarding actions. I picked up a bunch of stuff for it, but I haven't got to play it. I used to play a lot of the 30k version of boarding actions, and I really liked that. That's why I picked up the stuff for it in 40k, and I just haven't got around to doing it.
Yeah.
Although I've been building terrain for it from the new Necromunda, so...
Nice.
They also released the Celestan Sacrosanct Aveline, I believe.
Yes.
The one with the big fleur-de-lis torch thing.
Yeah, that was one I was waiting for to pre-order, and it's already sold out. I went, shit.
Yep.
She's also been legendized as well.
Of course she has. Hasn't even been released yet.
I know.
Because it's been a while, we also have Necromunda Hive Secundus came out since the last podcast.
Yep.
With the Van Zars and the Gene Stealer cult, and all the terrain for that, and all kinds of bullshit for that. And then there was a bunch of old world stuff, mostly like all of the old plastic dwarf stuff got re-released, which was very cool. And some of the really, really, really old metal dwarf stuff, like stuff that's like as old as I am. Which is cool, but I don't think I need ludicrously old lance-necked fucking dwarves.
So I take it you've put your pre-order in.
For the plastic stuff, that I didn't have. Like,
very good. I think that's all.
I did consider getting some Imperial dwarves, but like, I really don't need them.
Go on.
I feel like need would be a strong word for any model, really.
Yeah.
The problem with the old world stuff is it like hits you right in the FOMO, because it's like this stuff was out of production and they just announced that they're bringing it back into production,
and it's a limited.
When's it going to go away, and is it ever going to come back? You know.
Yep.
It's awkward.
Don't know if you saw this one, but they also announced the new model for Warhammer Plus.
Yes, that new Inquisitor looks really cool.
It looks amazing.
I never know whether to put those in there because they're not for sale. And I don't know when they're available because I don't do Warhammer Plus.
So if you subscribe for a year, but before the 15th of September, you will get it. You can put your order in as of the 15th of September. If you're doing it month-to-month subscription, you have to wait 12 months before you can do it. I read the stuff. I'm like, when do I get that?
Is it a free model, or it makes you eligible to buy it?
No, it's free. So if you've got the Warhammer Plus subscription, you get one model per year that you do it. So last
And you're
year was the
eligible to
Cask and
buy the other
Sergeant,
one.
and you can buy the other one that's also on offer, which is
Okay, yeah, because
Age
I
of
remember
Sigmar.
saying that you could buy them, and I was like, please tell me that you get one of them free, yeah?
Yeah. You get one for free. If you want the other one, you purchase the other one. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was announced if you are a Warhammer Plus subscriber, which they also announced with the Warhammer Plus that you not only do get the 40k battle app, but you'll also get the Age of Sigmar version as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, that model is very tempting, more
Oh.
so than previous ones. That Inquisitor, I
Yeah.
do like.
It's very good. Yes. And you get some weird stuff to it as well. A servitor head? Servo skull! Oh my god. I know what 40k
I think
is.
we'll just leave it as we'll leave it. If you sign up, you get head. That's all we need to know.
Sure. We should move on. So that's all the stuff that's coming out, teasing with. Good, excellent.
They're teasing you with head.
Yeah. We're going to move on to hobby progress. I don't think we have. It's no Stu and me, I think. So I'll start off with me. Yeah, because I've got the buttons. I finished my Knight Tyrant, my Chaos Knight Tyrant. So he is now complete. So I now have a bigger Knight, which is fun. I did things different with this one with the rust. I did a base model of the metal, and then I just painted it essentially brown ink all over it, and then dry brush metallic over the top. So it actually looks a lot more rusty than the previous way I've done it before. And I tried some new techniques on it as well, and happy how it came out.
If they still sell that typhus corrosion stuff,
Yeah.
that goes brilliant.
I'm experimenting with inks and even some pigments on the feet. You can see pigments being used on the feet to give that dirt look that he's been walking through stuff. I haven't used that before. So I've used some crackle paint to make the armor damaged as well. So tried a few little tricks to try and make it a bit different to what I've normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as I said, that typhus corrosion, it really kind of gets that pitted kind of like that deep,
Yeah.
terrible rusty kind of look.
Yeah.
So give that a go as well.
Yeah, maybe I will. And I got Magnus the Red finally done. When I say finally, it was done a lot quicker than Mortarion was, that's for sure. Again, try some different techniques with him. Tried to do something with the base. It wasn't exactly how it was meant to come out, but don't look at the base, look at the model. It'd be great, you'll be fine. And to mix it up, I've started painting some Death Guard. Because I just needed a break from large stuff. But they're done. That's been my hobby progress. Radio Mike, what's been his hobby progress? There it is.
As I say, I'm not sure what pictures you've got. I've been building spires for Necromunda, just because I'm trying to decide how to actually paint them, whether I'm going to paint them like my old 90s ones or paint them like my new gang.
Yeah.
Working on the Arvis Lighter, working on the Inner Circle Companions, who I haven't posted many update photos of. I really should do that again, because they've got a lot more colours on them, but it's been very slow because I keep getting distracted by things. I've also been bouncing between painting those and putting more paint on the Lion once again. But nothing's gotten heaps of progress because I keep bouncing between goddamn projects.
That's unlike you. Never seen you do that before.
I know.
Yeah. And nothing from you, Mark.
No, I contemplated throwing some wash on some of my rippers and stuff, and then children got in the way.
So you threw washes on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Very good. And it's just the three of us. Don't have any hobby progress from anyone else. So. Thank you for the resub. It's about 46 months. You must have missed a month. This is episode 77, so no, we didn't always do this. Thank you! I'll move on. Let's go to the battle report so we can get into the meat of the talking stuff, which I do the bestest. Battle report. Oh my god, first battle report is my Drakari versus Rob's, or Dead Men Talking, you may know if you follow the Twitch stream, and versus his AdMech. Now, it's his first time playing 10th edition, so it was a learning exercise. And boy, was it a learning exercise. If I'm a 10th edition, I feel it should be an easier version to learn than some of the other ones because of all the different, oh, you need to know this, you need to know this. But I forgot to factor in the Robert factor.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I was like, because I thought it was going to be pretty lengthy when I was playing my first 10th on stream. I suspect that you guys didn't get a lot of sleep.
We didn't finish the game. That's how long it took. In the end, where we finished, I think it was halfway through turn 3 or at the end of turn 3. Jakari were in front, and we had to call it. It got so late. If you want to put yourself through some viewing pleasure, it is up on YouTube. It is unedited. So if you're having trouble sleeping, that's my recommendation for you. Rob is
watch Drakari on AdMech, uncensored and uncut.
I gotta say there is a certain level of delight in watching people playing Warhammer at 3 a.m. when their brains don't work anymore.
Yeah. It was just it was a lot of looking up rules, a lot of holding the dice, just roll it. It was. So, but we'll play again. I did win. I got a win out of that because he is moving into state, and he has said I get to babysit his AdMech. So either I have a new army, or they go back to him in 12 months. So I have an AdMech army to use on the stream. Be prepared for that, folks. You're excited, I can tell. Let's move on to Battle Report 2. Battle Report 2 is not 40k. What? It's a game of Horus Heresy. Ah! That's right. I played my first game of Horus Heresy.
2.0?
Yeah. Played my first game of Horus Heresy. I brought along my salamanders. A cricket mate of mine, Murray, brought along his Sons of Horus. And we had a game. Upstairs, the new area at Jolt, in fact. I enjoyed the game. It felt like a lot of 3rd ed and 4th ed rules in there with a bit of extra bits. The reactions, I really like how there's reactions for the other persons to do something.
Yeah, because I thought the rule set for that was like expanded version of 7th or something.
First edition Horus Heresy was basically 7th.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't played the 2nd edition yet. I was going to say, Greg's beaten me to playing 2nd edition. I bought it when it came out, but I haven't actually got a game of it.
Oh, and I felt the rules were... They've still got the detachments, which was the bane of 7th. But I felt with the rules, and I just go, that plays like... That plays like 4th. Like, the sweeping advance, if I break in morale, I have to roll higher than you, and I can cut you down before you run away. I went, oh my god, I love this rule! Yeah, and Deep Strike doesn't always work very well, because you could die or miss and stuff like that. And there's templates! And so
it's kind of like 40k's greatest hits.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good way to describe it, yeah. So I got to play that. It did turn out to be a draw, but I still play it. I will play again, and now I can tell the Joker paints. I've done it. Leave me alone. Stop harassing me. I've now played Horus Heresy. And that's all the battle reports we have. Just the 2.
Well, I didn't bring any pictures, but I did play John, teaching him how to play 10th edition.
Wow, okay.
With my Deathwing against his Imperial agents, topically enough. And he hadn't played in several editions, so it was a lot of checking the rules and like making sure I was teaching him shit right. Because especially with an army I hadn't played before, teaching him the correct rules, like I kept being like, oh, that can't be how lone operative works, right? Oh, God, that's a pain in the ass of a rule.
If you're
And,
trying up against it, yeah.
yeah, especially because I was playing like a Deathwing army, so it was all Stormbolters.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he just had like a bunch of assassins and fucking Karamazov. And we actually did finish the game, which is a nice change of pace. We actually originally intended, like 8 of us showed up with like 500-point armies each, and was like, hey, we'll play a bunch of games. And it was just the 2 of us who played.
That works.
The rest of us just hung around. Everyone else just hung around and like drank and ate pizza and had a chat. It was cool. But yeah, the game took a little while. And I lost despite tabling him in turn 5 because he had more victory points.
Oh, I did.
Because we got like the mission. We got the mission where if you have a character on an objective, you get double the points for that objective.
Oh, okay.
And all his assassins are characters.
Aha. Right.
So he just had like 4 characters sitting on objectives, and I'm like, well, I can't get that many victory points, you know.
Is this the new Prior Nexus?
No, it was one of the Leviathan ones.
Oh, okay.
There's one that's... I can't remember what the bloody primary is called, but it means it's like, you know, if you have a character holding an objective, then you get an extra 3 victory points for that objective.
Nice.
And it basically meant he was getting 6 per objective, and I was getting 3 per objective.
So is now John going to be part of the group? Are you bringing him in? Have you corrupted him?
Well, I mean, he's probably going to play some more 40k. I don't know if he's going to like come along to anything else or just play with me and Nathan.
Yeah. It's all right. You got to win? No, you didn't. You didn't. You killed him, but you got points. That's right.
I wiped him out, but I still lost.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is one of the nuances of the modern 40k is, you could be tabled, but you could still lose.
Yeah, and he was like, no, that's not how it works. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it does.
It is. Yeah.
And I looked it up later, and yeah, if you're playing the basic rules from the core rulebook, if you're playing that mission, yes, tabling does mean you win. But if you're playing the victory point scenarios, no, tabling does not mean you win.
Yeah. I don't mind it, especially when I play an army that gets tabled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is extra silly, the idea of, like, all right, yeah, now you get to play out the rest of the game without your opponent.
Yeah.
See if you can beat them in victory points.
Yeah,
I guess you just hope you don't pull secondaries that involve killing people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exact. Bring it down. Oh. Go kick it over. Kick some wreckage over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We got 3 battle reports in. That was exciting. And one of them was a full game of 40k. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even have to delve into Age of Sigmar.
No, I still have some rats that I'm going to pick up at some point. So, not safe work, Mark. If you're listening, I'm coming for them. So I'll have an Age of Sigmar army. We can't talk about that here. Let's move to a break. Good idea.
I was about to say, I have several Age of Sigmar armies.
Well, a quick 30-second unpaid break, and then we'll talk about the topic of the month. Unpaid.
Yeah, Twitch, fuck off.
We are Rollers, and we have the games for you. Be it board games, card games, dice games, or party games. You name it, and we have it. Find us online at rollersboardgames.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at rollersboardgames.
From acoustic to distortion, Storyboard Concept is music that's honest, relaxing, and full-bore rockin' music. Follow Colin at storyboardconcept.bandcamp.com. Yeah, I'm excited to get some Skaven, but finding the time and another game platform, I'm going, oh my god. I've still got Marvel Crisis stuff to paint. It's just, yeah. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that unpaid 30-second run, get a drink, or go to the toilet quickly, really, really quickly. Yeah, wash your hands, please. But welcome back. We're going to talk about the topic of the month. It has been started thanks to the Deathwatch, the fate of the Deathwatch that happened to them in the Agents of Imperium. I, for one, did not see it coming. If you're not familiar with it, Agents of Imperium codex came out, introduced Inquisitors, which we're all excited about. It brought the Navy breaches and stuff like that, but it also brought in Deathwatch under the Agents of Imperium. But it didn't bring them all. it brought only 4 units from Deathwatch over to Age of Imperium. No, Age of Imperium? Sure. Agents of Imperium. And then the rest has now been officially legendized. Yay. So, Deathwatch players, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, based on what I've seen on the internet, Deathwatch players are pretty fucking salty about it. Because it's always pretty shitty when an army goes from a full army to now they're just an allied detachment.
Yeah.
And then they legendize like 90% of the army on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like most of their special stuff. And then when they posted that article, it was like, oh, you can still use your Deathwatch, just use them as a Black Space Marine army.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you can't. If you don't have the right combination of units, you can't.
All the special weapons that they carry, it would look a bit strange now, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
We do have a... Sorry. Go on.
No.
I was just saying, we do have a Deathwatch player. And so Chris has played Eldari since we know when, and he finally decided on a new army like months ago. And it was Deathwatch. So he's been building that army up.
Yeah, because it was pretty salty. I didn't realise it was that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see a lot of people being in that situation, being pretty salty.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Yeah, it's like wow, fucking, they haven't done something that bad. I feel where they just kind of totally fucked people over like that.
Like I could understand a bit if they were just bringing the whole lot in as detachments, but they weren't legendizing it, and it sort of amalgamated into like an Imperial Agents army, as it were. But like to just slash and burn like that, it's a bit rough. I mean, I guess from a game perspective, I can sort of see why they might have wanted to do it, because there's been a bit of creep with all these random extra factions and stuff essentially becoming their own armies. So I could see them wanting to maybe pare that down a little bit just for balancing and printing reasons, I guess. But yeah, like, you know, to have your entire army legendized within like 6 months of playing, that's
the harsh part, isn't it? So I'm just trying to work out the... go on.
I do understand a bit how they feel, given the whole like Primaris thing, because I'm still kind of salty about all my firstborn Marines. So,
but they're still valid. At least you can still play
those
them.
You can still use. Yeah. They still have valid loadouts. This one is a bit more egregious because the models don't, like, they've got completely the wrong gear.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, some of the stuff with the firstborn is completely like as an example, Calgar with Artificer armor, there's no rules. There hasn't been any rules since like 8th edition. So you know, there's a lot.
Well, yeah,
of that.
I mean they released a new model for him and they made him Primaris.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought, they've updated him.
At least they replaced like with like. Like this is like.
And I mean,
the army went away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's just it. I guess at least I could just turn around and pretend that they're Primaris.
Yeah.
And
that was what when they did it. They were like release rules saying, you know, here's what all these models count as in the Primaris lists.
Yeah. Your bikes are Outriders now and so on and so on. Yeah.
And then again, I mean, that's the same. That's exactly the same argument.
Okay. Martis Cargo in Artificer armor is counted as a captain now.
Yeah. So, but it's the same argument to say to a Deathwatch player, oh yeah, they can just be black Primaris Marines.
It's not, though, because they're still Ultramarines. You can proxy them as Ultramarines, and they're still Ultramarines.
Yeah.
They're not Deathwatch. They don't have their ammunition. They're not Deathwatch. They're just black Marines in the same army as some Deathwatch. So...
Yeah.
They play completely differently.
Yeah, because you had a protest kill team I'm looking at the moment. They've got... That's with a jetpack and bike? Jump pack. Yeah, it's got a jump pack. So you're going to have a unit with one jump pack. Great. I can't just count him as a one jump pack black space marine now, can I? So, yeah. It's a lot of
Well, and Kill Team Cassius has also got, like, weird mixed shit, too.
I can't remember which kill team survived. One of them did. But it wasn't Cassius.
No, I haven't even built my Kill Team Cassius.
Well, no need to.
or maybe you need to rethink that hate scheme.
So what did survive was the Watchmaster, the character I've just gone blank. You mentioned him before.
Artemis.
The Corvus Blackstar. Did that survive?
I want to. It's in one of the box sets.
So then, yes. And one of the kill teams, but I don't know which kill team it was.
It's like the basic bitch kill team, isn't it? Like the one that's just like
just normal Marines with shotguns,
special the normal box set of one.
But who would be unsurprised if they turned around and one of the units in the box set was legendized already, and they'd only put it up for pre-order?
Yeah,
it is kind of peak, isn't it?
G-Dub's gonna G-Dub,
Yeah.
Not that appeases anyone who's massively angry about this, and in any way, shape, or form. Have you guys had a decent look at the codex at all, or?
No, I can't say I have.
No.
I've seen online data cards. But that's it. I haven't had a good read, unfortunately. I was hoping to do that before today, but unfortunately, just life got in the way.
Yeah, because I noticed some rumblings there that they were letting you bring in like rogue traders as part of your
it's one of the detachments that you're going to have,
thing and stuff like that. I mean, it's not gonna
for the storytelling. It makes sense what they've done. Right? I am an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
I'm bringing in my allies to help me with a certain mission, and that could be the Grey Knights, it could be the Sisters, it could be, the Rogue Traders. Story-wise, it makes sense, absolutely.
Yeah, it's always been how those units operated.
Yeah.
Frankly, it was weird when they made them an independent army.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is what I was saying at the start. Like, they never should have been a standalone army. That's not how the Deathwatch operate in the game, in the universe. That's not what they do. They're specialists who show up and help other people, and they do kill team shenanigans. They do not form armies of their own and fucking roll around. That's not a thing they do.
So they've gone
it was
back to
weird that they did it to begin with.
Yeah.
It's shitty to take it away after doing it, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a note that for Imperial agents, there were other things that were also legendized from that. So we just mentioned 2 Inquisitors were legendized, including Eisenhorn, which we discussed. Mine's assembled but not painted. Yours is not even assembled.
Mine's still in its box back here.
Yeah, and Karamazov was the other one.
It's got to be like the shortest.
I've got the original
to
Inquisitor scale one. He's built, not painted.
Sorry, Mark.
Like, it's got to be the shortest from a new model being released to it, the unit being legendized ever.
I think you'll find he's been out longer than you think.
I know Eisenhorn as a model has been out for ages.
Yeah.
For eons. But why release a new model? They could have just legendized him like 3 years ago or whatever when the
When
model
did
dropped.
they release that plastic? It was like it was a limited edition
It was a limited
when
edition.
it came out.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like it was
but,
about 3 years ago.
I've had it for a while.
Yeah,
Like
same.
it was pretty buried when I moved my bookshelf.
Yeah.
So
But he's a very big name Inquisitor to just have legendized. I feel like it's to me it's like getting rid of Yarrick, which I'll touch on that in a minute because Yarrick's no longer Imperial Guard, right? But he hasn't been legendized either.
I was just grabbing the box to see if it
I
had a
figure
date.
that,
on
so you should have a date.
2018.
Other things that also,
2018.
sorry?
Copyright 2018.
There you go.
is when
5 years
came
ago.
out.
so
Yeah,
No,
Black
longer
Library
than that,
Celebration
6. I can add
2018 is
that.
when he was released.
okay, in light of like as I said, I mean maybe it's just me getting
feels
old and it
shorter.
didn't feel that long. Yeah, it
Yeah.
felt a lot shorter. I thought for sure he came out over COVID or something.
Well, he came out just before COVID, which means it was like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also
we don't
legendized.
talk about those times.
No, they also legendized Daemon Host and the Jakaro Weaponsmith. So no more orangutan with digital weapons.
No more dumb monkey shenanigans.
So yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's a big hit to Deathwatch players, but I also found it surprising they're getting rid of Daemon Host, Eisenhorn, the big guy with a big chair.
Yeah, Karamazov, like, he's been a staple
Yeah.
of fucking Inquisitor armies for ages. I fought against him just recently.
And Damned Legionnaires, which is Legions of the Damned.
Oh yeah, they got fucking legendized forever ago.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, let's be honest.
You know how I know? Because I bought some. That's when they legendized them immediately.
well, they're now classed as agents of the Imperium as a faction keyword.
Yeah.
Yeah, because weren't they doing because they had official rules for them in what 8th?
Oh,
I want to say, and
no,
and they had some models or whatever, but then they went away very quickly.
I'm pretty sure that they got legend. They were like the first things that got legends.
Fair enough.
Like they were in the
Yeah.
indexes,
Yeah.
and then they were in. They
Yeah.
never went into a codex. They
Yeah.
went straight to legends.
100%. Yeah, they were in the index, and then that was it.
Done.
And yeah, as soon as we saw that, it was like, yeah, no.
All right, so I'm gonna.
Then again, it's not the end of the world for things to go into legends. As mentioned, I was playing against them.
Yeah.
You can use legends models. They have rules. They have points. It's just if you're a tournament player, you're fucked. Or if you're playing with a group of people who are really finicky about insisting you follow the tournament rules, including not being allowed to use legends, then it's pretty fucked.
I don't think it's ever come up for us as a scenario, but we don't play that competitive. If it's got rules, whether it's legendized or not, play it. Like it.
Well, yeah, I've encountered people who are like, yeah, no, my social group insist on following the ICCC rules all the time or whatever.
Well, it's not really a social blade. I guess it depends what you're after. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned that they're more of that. They're an ally, and they've gone back to being an ally. Do you think that's the driving force behind it, or do you think the driving force behind it is, according to tournament play, because it's where they get most of their stats, nobody plays Deathwatch. So they just go, how do we not support something?
But perhaps they've used that as a justification to wax it, I guess. I mean,
I don't have an answer here.
They go, this will be unpopular, but it's not going to turn away any of our tournament players because none of them are playing Deathwatch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like if there's an army like this that is very niche and has very, I think it's was even difficult to buy some of them. Like I don't know if some of them were available outside, like the Kill Team boxed sets they were in. Like I think one of mine is from like a box set called like Deathwatch Overkill. That was half Deathwatch and half like Tyranids, and I don't even Genestealer Cult. Sorry, I'm not even sure if that Kill Team was available outside that box. You know,
And
So some of their rules were for models that were in weird ways to buy.
now this also sort of brings up the question: are there other what other
So I was going to
armies?
get to that.
Yeah, what other armies are potentially on the chopping block like this? Because, I mean, Sisters of Silence is an example there. There's not enough there to be a full army.
But you can have a full army of those. In the Custodies book, they are a detachment of Sisters of Silence.
Yeah,
They're already in another army's codex.
Yeah,
And-
but they've
and
been in
that's
that.
exactly
But they've been in
right.
that for a while. They were in that before this edition.
They were in that before, like, there were Custodes. Before they had a codex, they were in the one codex.
And
like,
the other
they were
question-
Talons of the Emperor.
Now, the other question is Sisters of Battle.
Yeah.
And I know that's like, that's
It's where they used to be.
exactly. And
The
they may go
Codex
back
Auto Hereticus.
because availability has never been great on Sisters models ever. You could quite possibly see them do exactly the same thing and roll them in right. They're part of a detachment for Imperial agents.
I'd be super people would be fucking
you'd be
ropeable
right.
if they did the Sisters.
Yeah.
Because they only just came out
got
in
a
plastic
book.
like 2 weeks ago. Because, time is a flat circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, I mean, as I said, the precedent is set at this point.
Yeah, and
so,
I was thinking, like, the armies that are ripe for it are the other fucking arms of the Inquisition, the Sisters,
Grey Knights.
and the Grey Knights. But the Grey Knights just came out,
Yeah, Grey Knights.
Grey Knight's got a codex? They don't have a new codex?
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Didn't they just get a codex?
No. Sisters did.
I thought the Grey Knights got a codex.
No. Who's drinking
I'm
now?
just probably just...
Grey
I
Knights.
could just be
Yeah,
tripping. I'm sure the Grey Knights got like a... Did they just get an update or something?
I don't know. I mean, unless
Did they?
like
Listen to our
they
podcast,
did that
we're
to Grey
experts.
Knights, if they did that to Grey Knights, like that would cause a shitstorm too. Because the Grey Knights guys are pretty up there on their fandom there.
Oh yeah, they'll get angry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
They'll,
No, they
but-
don't have a codex.
Yeah, okay. Why the hell did I think they had a codex?
and see I would say that Grey Knights have a pretty complete model sort of set, but
Yeah.
so did Deathwatch because it could pinch stuff from Marines.
So that comes back to...
realistically, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, so then that comes back to, do you think they did it with Deathwatch because nobody's playing them? But people are playing Grey Knights.
Honestly, I think my brain has misremembered the Adeptus Custodes as the Grey Knights.
Yeah, well, and see, the thing is, the Custodes have the Sisters sort of rolled in there as well. So I don't know. I mean, conceivably, you could roll both of those into Imperial agents, and not really worry that much because, as I said, I mean the models don't have. There's not a heck of a lot of models for either of those factions, I guess you could say.
Custodes have had a few more added to it. But
and I could totally see them going, right, you get your Inquisitor, and then you put a squad of Custodes in with them.
I think, yeah. Well, that's to say, they say you can play them as allies to any other faction that you might be running. So if you're playing Custodes, you can add them as an ally to the Custodes. And they've got a different points value if you use them as an ally to a different faction. That's not those 3 detachments that's in the Codex.
Now,
They're more expensive, by the way, if you use them as an ally than if you use them as your main force.
Now, this also sort of gets me thinking, are they trying to bring soup lists back?
I mean, I
God, no.
would think that they're going to try and avoid that because that was not good. It's all right. I was just looking. They need to return to tradition. We need to return to the second edition Black Codex rules, where the Imperial Agents was where all of the Arbites went, all of the Admech went,
Yep.
all of the Sisters went, all of the Grey Knights went.
Maybe not that far.
all of those ones where they got one special edition mini and,
Well, that's the other
and
thing.
needed to be able to roll it in the game somehow.
So they've made this Imperial Agents book where you can run a detachment of Sisters or Grey Knights or Deathwatch. If you don't have those, I've still got to buy a codex so I can use the Inquisition as an ally? Or
Yep.
I buy the codex so I can run as an army, but then I still got to go buy their Sisters of Battle book for their rules.
And potentially
Yeah, I'm
Grey
not
Knights.
sure.
And it's a
I
full
would be very
price
surprised
codex.
if they reprinted the rules in the codex. So yeah, you probably have to buy multiple
Yeah.
codexes to do that.
And what about Admech? Are they able to be a?
Well, you can have an Admech army and have Inquisition as an ally, not the other way around.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that back in
Yeah.
second edition, the Admech were part of the Imperial
Yeah.
Agents. They weren't a separate army.
And also, previous editions, Imperial Agents was a White Dwarf release.
Yeah.
And
So it was
heralded
free.
the advent of a new edition.
Yeah. Yeah, so, which was good, because I felt that when you're buying Imperial Agents, I want it more than just for 5 Inquisitor, 4 Assassins. Well, that's it, is it? 5 plus some named Inquisitors.
So realistically, it's a pamphlet rather than a.
Yeah, but it's a full
codex.
price codex.
Well, it's going to have the Deathwatch in there. It's going to have
There's Deathwatch in
the
there,
henchmen in there. It's
Yeah.
going to have like the various weird characters, like
The
the
Navy
the
and-
navigators and the breaches
Some of
and
those.
the multiple types of arbitres.
So there are 3 of the Rogue Trader characters have been legendized.
See, the thing is that it really comes across to me more like it's more for a small scale
Yeah, the storytelling
Type-
part.
type
Crusade.
thing. And
Well, that was always what I used it for. Like, you know, I often had a small group of Imperial agents in my Apocalypse army. I just had like one Valkyrie at the back that had a bunch of Inquisitor bullshit in it,
Yeah.
and like the storyline was they were the reason the whole rest of the fucking army was here, just
Yeah.
so they could do some dumb shit, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I love. It's very storytelling of how they've done it. So yes, I am the Inquisition. I'm bringing in my allies to help me with this specific mission to achieve. Yeah, and I love that part. Just the Deathwatch got a bit slapped to the face.
Yeah, actually, if the Grey Knights haven't had a codex, then they may be in trouble. How popular are they at the tournaments? How well do they sell? Fuck! Somebody call the Grey Knights. Make sure they're okay.
get me
Why
tight.
is the line busy? Yeah.
The call's coming from inside the house.
So we're talking about something. I was hearing some law stuff about Terminus Decree being looked at.
And
It was
Oh,
very
right.
mysterious. I don't know what's in there.
okay, fair enough. Thought there was
But
more
apparently,
to it. That's why-
apparently they were considering it because of the whole, Cicatrix Maledictum and stuff.
So you touched on it a moment ago. With what else do you think Do you think any other factions are at risk of something similar to happen? I think there is, and I've heard rumors
Yeah.
of another one as well. So one I have, what I think absolutely is at risk: Harlequins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
And it could even go as far as there'll be an Eldari book which have Harlequins and Drakari. If they're going this far, and it might be detachments instead. You have run an Eldari detachment or a Drakari detachment or a combined
Sounds like
detachment.
that'd be Codex Yinari.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
With all of the Eldar in it.
Yeah.
That'd be what they were supposed to be doing.
But
Yeah,
the-
with the
Whatever
Psychic
happened to that
Awakening
story,
that
Games Workshop?
yeah, good point.
never
yeah.
happened.
But they got the special character and everything. But the Harlequins definitely do not have a large choice of units.
They never have done.
No.
They did used to be in the Eldar Codex.
Correct, yeah.
It's essentially just a paint scheme on regular minis, really.
Very delicate paint scheme.
I mean, the skill is real. 'Cause, I mean, that's some tiny little squares. But, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think they're a real risk, and I can feel that there could be a Ynnari Codex to have all three of them in there. And
if they do it to Harlequins, Chris will really be out for blood.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
2 armies in a row. Fuck.
Do it.
I hope he's not listening right now.
Do
I'll get a phone call. What are you doing? And a rumour, which I find this one, I don't have much sold into it, is Chaos Demons losing Codex and they actually become allies of their respective Chaos Marines instead.
Yeah, I've heard people say that, and I want to say that's ridiculous, but,
Yeah,
you know.
It is. You go, that's stupid. It's Games Workshop.
Yeah, because they've been talking about making a Codex Emperor's Children.
Yeah.
So, like, what Codex are they going to get rid of to make room for that, you know?
Demons, because then you get all this lineage for the Emperor's Children, and it's going. But what about?
Yeah, you put
Be'lakor?
the demons in each of the other armies. Yeah,
Where do you put
and like
Be'lakor
in
and
the
stuff
normal
like that?
Chaos Marine army, like.
Maybe they'll have a chaotic agents.
Well, that's what I said. There'll be an Imperium of agents of chaos. And,
Yeah.
I mean, that'd actually be pretty cool.
Yeah. So
Wind up
Be'lakor
with,
the
like,
Inquisitor.
Fabius in there, and
Well, yeah, you chuck in all your all your weird cultist model units that came out, like all that stuff, and they
All
can
the
join any
Blackstone
Chaos
guys
army.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the Blackstone guys. That actually kind of would make sense.
Shit. Now we're making it real.
Yeah, that would actually work.
So, World Leaders have their codex though, don't they?
Yes.
So they didn't come out with
I believe.
Khorne demons as a...
Oh, did they have one?
Oh, fuck. How good
No,
are we?
they don't have theirs yet this edition, do they?
So none of them. So we've had...
We've just had generic Chaos Marines,
Chaos
haven't
Marines
we?
only,
So far
hasn't
this... Yeah, they haven't come out yet.
No, that can't be right.
Yeah, I'm looking at what
No.
codexes are available on the website. Like, there isn't a new Demon Codex.
There's no new demon
World
codex.
Eaters.
World Eaters.
That I can see.
No, there isn't,
Conspiracy
because I can
theory.
open up the data cards in the app. So no, they don't have one. It's going to happen, isn't it?
Oh, jeez.
Agents of Chaos.
Agents
of Chaos.
Death Guard will get Nurgle. Thousand
This is
Suns
the
will
wrong
get
month
Sith.
to be looking
Oh,
into
no.
the warp.
I know! What have we done?
We've pulled on a thread and
Oh, no.
and unraveled things.
Yep. It's going to be Fulgrim all the way down.
I do like the idea of the Imperium of Ages of Chaos, though. I do like that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, like, actually, it sounds kind of cool. It would be annoying if it would fuck with the armies, but it would be cool to have, like, more ability to kind of, soup in small units of specialists into Chaos the way you can with Imperium.
It might be the way they get the Dark Imperium sort of into it.
The Heretic armies, take Imperial Guard, put Agents of Chaos in there.
Yeah. Oh, what have we done?
Oh, jeez.
Have we just fixed Chaos for GW? Because it's been
But then
broken
they might
for a long...
Then they might do our other suggestions, though.
Oh, no!
Yeah, they'll pick the one we don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Chris will come for us.
Oh, my God.
Well, I don't know which is worse, if they did Harlequins or Sisters.
Yeah.
Sisters just had their
Well, my
codex,
sisters
though.
actually did get a codex.
Yeah, they've got a codex.
So-
They're safe.
That means
For now.
nothing to these people. Yeah, like...
The fact that model was released and legendized in the same day, that was pretty good. So anything could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, my codex got outdated before it came out for the Votan, so...
Yeah,
Yeah,
we won't talk
because-
about the poor World Eater codex users from Night.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, and I mean, which is worse, having Chris salty about Harlequins, or all of the Sisters people whinging yet again after a catastrophic GW move?
No, I think they're safe. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah.
I think the Harlequins definitely they won't get their own codex. It's just
no, they won't. They're probably gonna get rolled in.
agents of the Xenos.
Whether it's one of those like massive condensation type things where they roll all the Eldar in, or just
It's a
Craft
big
World.
thing, though. I can see how Harlequins gets rolled into one of them, but to add Chikari in, that's a lot of data cards.
I feel like you would. The way that I feel it would be least stupid to do would be keep your craft world separate, keep your Drakari separate, roll the rest into miscellaneous fucking Eldar, and then you could also chuck in like Exodite stuff.
I knew you were going to say that.
They're not bringing them.
They're
back.
not
I want my dinosaurs. I want my elves on dinosaurs in 40k again.
They brought back Corsairs, so that's a step, isn't it?
It just
There's a fucking Zote in fucking Blackstone Fortress.
That will be in the new
grab
Agents
some
of
Dino
Xenos.
Riders off eBay, and you'll be fine.
Well, that's interesting. So be warned, Harlequin players, and keep an eye out, Demon players.
Yeah, fuck demon players. Keep the lube handy, man.
Oh, that would. We do have a demon player within our group. I thought we had two.
I mean, I own like multiple demon armies.
Yeah. We have at least
I
one
was thinking, I
active
was
demon.
tempted to bust out my Nurgle demons. I really hope they don't fucking do that.
They have to have them as a separate detachment in theirs. You can run them as a Nurgle detachment with just demons. Use a demon prince to lead them or something. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I think Adam will be fine because he's got enough demons of every faction that, like.
Yeah, but he doesn't have
so do
Thousand
I,
Sons,
but that doesn't
and he
mean I won't be
have
salty about
He
it.
does have Death Guard, he does have World Eaters, and he wants an Emperor's Children, so he should be fine, and maybe I'll just take his Zench stuff off him.
And he has disposable income, so, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
So, maybe don't start a Chaos Demon army right now, folks. Or at least just do one faction. Don't do a mix.
Or maybe not any army that hasn't already got a codex.
Well, yeah, it'd also be a mess for the unaligned demons, the fucking what are they called?
Be'lakor.
Brain just failed. No, not Be'lakor. The big spider things.
Big spider thing.
The mechanical spider leg demons with the big fucking
Defilers.
Venom Crawler? Or...
Yeah, defilers.
Yeah, but they're just a card that I can put into 1,000 Suns if I wanted to. Oh, I don't think 1,000 Suns, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. If they split them up like that, they then have to put all the neutral demons somewhere, and the Chaos Marine Codex has already come out.
Yeah.
If they didn't do, Agents of Chaos book.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying now.
Or start a band called Agents of Chaos.
So World Eaters don't have Defilers. There you go. No, there it is. World Eaters Defiler. So it says called a World Eater Defiler, and you get 1,000 Sun Defiler. I don't think.
Yeah, but where's my Nurgle? Where's my Nurgle Plague Hulk?
Oh, this is very interesting now. I don't know if we should have gone down this path. It's terrifying now.
This way dark thoughts lie.
You can have a Death Guard Defiler. Yes, I thought so. Well, there you go. All right. Interesting. So what does it mean for units that are just no longer in an index or a codex but not legendized, like Yarrick?
That is interesting. I hadn't thought about which ones haven't been legendized but also aren't in a codex.
The question is,
anywhere.
The question is, how far back do those units have
Last edition.
a rule? So last edition they had like a full.
You can
set
play
of
Yarrick
rules?
9th edition. Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
It wasn't until
So
the
it's
index
just
came out where I was
left
going,
off.
what the fuck?
Where's Yarrick? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Where's Yarrick? Where's my boy?
Well, that's the most upsetting people are. All
have
players are more upset than Imperial Guard players.
have we had the Orcs Codex?
Yes. Didn't we?
Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we got an Orc
The
Codex.
new big orc mech and stuff. Yeah, we did. Because
To be fair,
they lost
we
the
still
works, shop. Yeah.
We still don't have a Guard Codex.
No, we don't.
Yeah? Despite all these weird new models, like Leontist and shit,
Yeah.
we still don't have a Codex.
Correct.
So, he could show up in the Codex again. He may get, like, a big new model where it's fucking some kind of, like, cyber Yarrick in a fucking... He stole Kazmarov's chair and he's
That's
fucking
it.
going... He's fucking driving it like he stole it in Kazmarov's big fucking walking chair.
Yeah.
Either that or they've stuck his head on top of a killer can or something.
They'll make a special edition Baneblade. Re-release the Fortress of Arrogance.
He's a head in a jar like Futurama style.
Yeah. The head sticking out the turret.
Yeah. Well, they mentioned we've talked about Eric before because the Dark Tide they mentioned. Oh, he was lost to something, so they're actually talking about him in the game and stuff. So he can't be dead, surely. There must be some event they're going to bring him back. But
I imagine
they've been talking about Fulgrim since bloody 8th edition.
cool. Yarrick will be back in edition 15,
Yeah.
which would be in 3 years.
Yarrick will return in Die Another Day.
Well, we are getting an Imperial Agents Codex, so a new edition might not necessarily be off the cards.
Well, there's a bit
It's
of talk about that.
Way too early. There are so many major codexes that haven't come out.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey.
they'll storm the fucking offices and string them up from the yardarm if they do that.
Hey, I mean, traditionally,
I've got
Imperial
one codex
Agents
out of my
heralds
6
the new-
armies.
Yeah.
Historically, they herald the new edition, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. One codex out of my 6 armies.
I think they
go-
just wanted to.
Yeah.
I think they just wanted to break that mojo and like put it in the middle.
Yeah.
Or
make everyone
somebody, either that or somebody at GW is running Imperial Agents and wants their time in the sun.
Or someone wanted an excuse to not release a Deathwatch Codex and they wanted to get out of the way.
Yeah. Sounds more believable.
Hopefully not for the Grey Knights as well.
They can't. Not for the Grey Knights. They've got too many different models, like the baby crawler carriers. What are they called?
Yeah,
Nemesis Knights or something. The Nemesis Dread Knights.
Yeah, you got the Dreadnought.
There aren't actually that
I'm
many
just
units,
thinking.
are
I'm
there?
going. No, they got the teleporting guys. They got the different type of Terminators.
and they're
Yeah.
pumped up.
They already said
by
the Grey Knight will be a separate codex. Oh, they did say that in the article. You're right. They do mention that because that was a big thing. They mentioned that the Grey Knight will be a separate codex, but they didn't mention that Deathwatch was getting a separate codex. And that was the big, hang on, what? And that was talk.
Yeah, but they
before
also
the
said Votan was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, this is true. And we were all, ha ha, wasn't that a good April Fool's joke? And then, bam, there was models.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my wallet has never recovered.
Very good. So Joker's Paints is just chatting about it. There'll be a separate codex, but they did actually talk about on the Warhammer community. They specifically said Grey Knight Codex. I do remember reading that. Yes. So what do we tell Chris? How do we console him? It's too late. He's already jumped.
I think he was going to buy, what, a Space Marines army?
He has jumped ship from the Grey Knights, the Deathwatch, and he is now going over to Iron Hands. What are they called? Not Iron Warriors, Iron Hands. What?
Yeah,
Iron Hands are the black ones. Yeah.
So he's going to the Iron Hands. So yeah.
So he picked the chapter with the dead Primarch that's actually dead.
I mean, to be fair, that's most of them. Well, a significant number of them.
Most of them are on gap year. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That is true. A bunch of them are
I was
on
going to say,
gap
there's
year.
actually, if you think about it, there's actually not that many. There's more alive than there are dead.
There's only two that are actually doing their job.
There's two that are doing their job. One of the two who's doing their job was dead. And you've got the only one, like Korax is a bird. You've got the wolf is chasing people around in circles. Jagatai is allegedly also chasing people around in circles. Fucking Dawn is supposed to be dead, but he's probably about as dead as Gilliman was.
Yeah, and Vulcan, in Perpetual, can't be killed.
Vulcan just doesn't die at all. So I guess actually, are there any other than Ferris that aren't dead? That are dead?
That's what I'm saying.
See?
Yeah, because I mean, traditionally it was like, it was Dawn and Robitaille, and Robitaille got better.
Yeah.
And
so
for a long time, was it Horus that was talking to his dead head or whatever?
Fulgrim talks to Ferris's head a lot.
Yeah, maybe that was it. But yeah, I know somebody was cloning the hell out of him. And
that was Fulgrim. Fulgrim was cloning Ferris over and over and over again because he wanted to convince one of them to become evil with him. I think was the plan from memory, but he kept failing because Ferris was like, "That's fucking stupid."
I thought it was Abaddon or Horus that was doing
it. No, because Fulgrim was like Ferris's only friend.
Yeah,
okay.
And so Fulgrim got a bit emo about the whole thing.
He did. Yes, I remember reading that book. Kept seeing him. Yes. Oh, just a silly side note. I went to OzCon down here locally on Sunday, and someone cosplayed as a full Horus Heresy Death Guard, like 7 foot tall. So it looked amazing. And then saw another person cosplay as Fabius Bile, and again, the armor was brilliant with the things coming over and everything. Looked fantastic. That's a side note.
I thought you were going to say someone cosplayed as Ferris.
Just his head?
In like a marine. Full suit of marine armor with like an eye slit in the middle and no head.
Alright, we are in trouble, folks. Chris is now watching.
Oh, Chris has entered the chat.
Oh dear. Deathwatch. What do we say?
Well,
yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, it would suck as any Deathwatch player, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I'm happy they re-released the Captain Artemis, though. I used that model to create a Salamander character, Pellis, who's also got legendized. I went, damn it.
Yeah, because I remember you saying, we don't have that many characters. Why are they getting rid of them?
We don't! we had 5, and now we're down to 2.
Like, I thought for sure if you're going to legendize anybody, it'd be like some of the Ultramarines ones.
Yeah.
I actually have the Inquisitor scale version of that Deathwatch Marine, and I painted him up as a Deathwing Marine in the Deathwatch. And then I converted it to converted a fucking 28mm version of him to use back in the 90s. So I didn't actually buy him when he first came out because I was like, I've already got one.
Yes. Jake is just reminding us that Fabius also cloned Horus, and Abaddon killed it.
Well, yeah, I think he cloned it. Can he make a bunch of Horuses?
Yeah,
I think he's made a bunch of lots of stuff.
Thing.
Yeah. When he gets
Bio clones everything.
Yeah, I'm interested to find out about Chaos Custodes since he nabbed one.
I want Call to release the 2nd and the 11th. You coward! He's been making them. Like, he mentions in the books that he's, like, made Marines using, like, Primaris Marines using the gene seed of the 2 Lost Legions.
And the Chaos
and Robotech's like, fucking stop it!
Folks?
Yeah, and the Chaos ones. And he's like, no, it all works, they're all fine. Let me do it. Trust me, bro. What can happen?
Nothing bad will ever happen with that.
Yeah, trust me. Perfectly normal gene seed in that chapter over there, the Sons of the Phoenix. They are perfectly normal.
Sorry, that was me doing thumbs up and stuff because Joker's reporting that the video went blank, and I was just checking on and I went, no, it seems to be fine on my end. You didn't notice at your end? No, good.
Nope.
Just you, Joker. Did you blink for a long time? Sorry, move on.
Is that on Twitch or on YouTube?
Twitch.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. Alright, so if you're a Deathwatch player, you've been pretty hard done by. If you're an Inquisition enthusiast, it doesn't help you much either because you still need multiple codexes and you're still got to buy a full price codex for the rules as opposed to a White Dwarf insert here side of things.
You can probably run an army without using the other stuff if you're just using like navy and breaches and arbites and all that shit and henchmen. It depends on how big the list you're making is, I guess.
Yeah, if you're doing a 2K list of those, I don't think you're going to survive much.
The other thing is that I don't think that you're going to have many like new players coming in and picking Imperial agents off the bat.
I certainly hope not. That'd be a terrible decision.
It's kind of like expert mode. You know what I mean? Like you know, they're going to go for something that's a bit more monolithic.
So, one thing I did sort of a lot of Imperial competition players will run an assassin. Now they need to buy a codex to do that. That was all. Just point that out. If they want to run that, they need to get the codex now as well. Another full price codex as opposed to the White Dwarf.
Well, I mean, tournament players are renowned for throwing out entire armies because the meta has changed. So
not all. Most tournament players are well balanced people. Hope you're all listening. You don't know where I live.
Look, it could be worse. I think it was second edition where the assassins came out in a codex printed book that was like the thickness of a pamphlet.
Oh, I remember that.
Because it had 4 assassins in it.
I remember that, yeah.
Because I've got that book.
I probably still have it somewhere too, but I couldn't find it because it's too thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's not the first time they've made, like, this little supplemental bloody thing you need to buy.
But that was a supplement, and it had a supplement price tag to it as well. It wasn't a $70 codex.
I'm pretty sure it was cheaper than a normal codex.
Yeah.
But I mean, back then codexes were a lot cheaper as well.
Oh my god, yeah! I had all of them because you could afford to buy all of them. Yeah. Yes. Intriguing. All right. So let's go. Anything else you want to add to this Death of the Deathwatch? We've talked about who's next. I'm intrigued if the tournament participation had any influence on it, or it was more, let's get back to what Deathwatch were originally meant to be, which you mentioned, Michael, at the start.
Like it takes them back to that specialist role that they've always had, which makes more sense, but is annoying.
Yeah, because they always were. Inquisitor comes in, seconds a bunch of Marines. Yeah. They go fight X-alien, and then they went back to their chapters.
Yeah.
The whole concept of there being like a fortress full of Deathwatch, and it was like the wall in Game of Thrones or something, is like just a very recent thing.
Is it? I thought they did have like an HQ where you would send. Like, Salamanders will send off some Marines to spend some time over there spreading the word of their Lord and Saviour. Sorry.
No, as I said, they usually they'd send them off, they'd paint themselves black, and leave their chapter emblem,
Yeah.
and then they go off and fight a thing, and then they would come back.
Yeah, they would return, but they'd wear the Deathwatch.
Yeah, it's a tour of service kind of thing.
Yeah. So I always like the lore about the Deathwatch and that side of thing. It's like bringing the best of the best together to sort of go through different trainings and learn, and then bring that back to your chapter so you can adapt.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool lore in there.
Yeah.
Like in the role playing game, because there was a Deathwatch role playing game. There was a lot of lore in that kind of heavily suggested they accept remorseful Chaos Marines. Like they would accept Marines who just showed up.
Yeah.
And they're like, what chapter are you from? And the Marine was like, don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and they would take them in for a one-on-one chat with the chapter master to decide whether or not they were getting in the Deathwatch.
I remember that too, because I remember reading that. And that's what I felt with that the Horus Heresy. I remember when they sort of had the traitor legions, but the ones who didn't want to turn traitor, I've always felt, well, they're forming Deathwatch, because that's
I thought
it's
they
a
had
mixture of them.
They were Black Shields, which is what they were called in the Deathwatch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I think they were painting over their traitor marking with black or whatever, and they would fight alongside. But I didn't think it was exclusive to Deathwatch.
No, it wasn't in the Heresy. But, I mean, they had the same name for it. Like, the guys who decided not to pick a side in the Heresy and called themselves Black Shields, that's also what the Deathwatch, who stopped displaying their chapter logo and just have the plain shoulder pad, they also call themselves Black Shields.
Yeah.
So, lore-wise, it makes sense. People who have a full army, ouch. Anyone wants to play Inquisition as an ally, well, that's another codex you're going to have to, you supposedly should be getting.
But I hope that the Deathwatch players that did have those armies at least had the 4 units that were.
The 4 that remain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the other ones just have to be sent back to their chapters.
Yeah.
Too early? Yeah, fine. I made this one a salamander. Who's a salamander to play? Just hand them over. Yeah. Be fine. You'll be fine. But there were some great models too. I'm just thinking of Barros, the salamander with the Terminator with the heavy flamer. I really like that model.
Well, and good. Cassius was really good.
Yeah.
From
he's
that
been
too.
legendized. That was a surprise one out of the lot. Yeah.
His whole kill team.
Yeah. It's weird. That's how good they are. They're legends.
Yep.
And we're a bit concerned. Well, we reckon Harlequins will probably get a similar treatment. They don't have a lot of data cards to lose, though. So we just feel they'll be shoved into another book right off the clacker. Whether it be a ginormous Yanari book, we don't know.
The other question, actually thinking on it, what about Gene Stealer cults?
Well, they've kind of
didn't they get
keep expanding rather than getting smaller. Like they're getting more and more stuff.
They're getting new models and stuff, so they've expanded.
Yeah, because they were always kind of a bit of an add-on kit to regular Tyranids for a while there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harlequins are already in the Eldar book. Yes, we're just wondering if they would lose some of the models they might have, similar to what Deathwatch, so they don't have a standalone. They become an add-on. It's like the Sisters of Silences, and well, you can still run them, but there's like 3 different units for Sisters of Silence: the character, then prosecutor, not prosecutor. Yeah, it's interesting. And we heard the rumor about the Chaos Demons. Now we think, oh shit, we fixed it. It's going to happen. But Imperial of Chaos, Agents of Chaos sounds like an awesome book. You know what might be in there? Vashtor might be in that book.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Oh no, we're making it real. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to chat about Deathwatch before we make too many more real statements? You heard it first, folks. Wobble Player Syndrome episode 78. Keeping it real here.
Well, I think that's about all I got.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to wrap it up. I can't think of much more to talk about. I feel sorry for Deathwatch players. I feel frustrated that I would need to get a codex if I want to have the Imperial Agent stuff. And I'm intrigued to see what they'll do with Chaos Demons now.
I just need to not accidentally do what I did in 7th and accidentally buy 2 copies of the Imperial Agents Codex.
So you mean you can have 2 units of Deathwatch. So you'll be fine. Alright folks, we'll wrap it up then. Interesting chat. Interesting thought pattern of Deathwatch and what that installs to the rest of the universe. Sorry Chris for bringing it up and making it public. But Iron Hands, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You didn't have a codex. You didn't have a Primarch with Deathwatch, so it'd be the same, mate. You'll be fine. I want him to build one with carrying a head now, so it's terrible. All right, we'll wrap it up. I'm going to say goodnight because I'm going to ramble, otherwise I don't. What words? Mark, say goodnight.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, mate, what are the socials? We should talk about that.
Yeah, they're all RLG 40k.
Except for the YouTube channel, which has been renamed back to Real Loud Gamers because there's more of the PC gaming than the 40k content at the moment.
Okay.
If you want to see me jump because I'm playing a horror game, yeah, jump on that. It's terrifying. I love reliving it. All right, so next month we'll have another podcast episode, and the Blood Angel should be out.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
We got to make sure we got Anto on.
I reckon we better drag Anto back because he might be a 3-hour podcast if we bring him on. It'd be great.
And we can discuss Wingate.
Oh dear. Alright, you can follow my Instagram at RedBellyBlack. You two don't do it. That's about it. Alright, now you can say goodnight, Mark.
Bye, everybody.
And I'll say goodnight too, and we'll leave it to Radio Mike. Take it away!
Do not ask for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for the Deathwatch. But will they be the only army to suffer this lonely fate? Well, we sure as shit hope so. But we also hope that you can join us next month for more Wobbly Player Syndrome.